Welcome to the New Health. As people are getting sicker at younger ages, we are bringing on thought leaders that are revolutionizing healthcare and changing the world. I am your host, Jessica Preston, and back with us today is Josh Rimany, pharmacist turned functional medicine provider, training other pharmacists on how to promote health and wellness. Josh, thank you so much for being back with us today.
Oh, this is so much fun. Thank you for having me back. I'm excited.
Me too. So we talked last time about wellness made simple, which was diet, lifestyle, supplements, and labs. And we spoke about that a little bit. We had spoken about diet, and a lot of people have some direction on diet. But lifestyle I'd really love to hit on today, since everyone says change your lifestyle and nobody has a clue what that means.
Because it's an arbitrary word, right? When it's easy for me to get up here and say like lifestyle is a problem. Well, what does that mean, right? And so we're living in a toxic world. You know, this thing, our phone, it's useful, but there's all this toxicity around us. And so lifestyle medicine is really the root around what are the things we can be doing that are being regenerative and helping our body heal itself.
That's wonderful. One thing I always think about with lifestyle is when you're putting something better in your lifestyle, you're automatically eliminating something that was worse for you because it's a trade. So it's like a double effect.
Well, you can't, it's like like stress. You can't be in the state of rest and digest and stress. It's one or the other, right? So it's a healthy lifestyle choice. And I love that when you reverse it from an unhealthy lifestyle choice and you change it to a healthy lifestyle choice, you get a twofer.
Yes, you do get a twofer.
I like twofers.
Who doesn't like a twofer?
Well, this is part of the lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
We call it the daily dozen because if you do these dozen things every day or more consistently, and I'll talk to you about how to get consistent because I have some pretty cool ways to do that.
Yeah.
Because consistency is the key here. If you can do this with regularity, then it starts moving over time. None of these things are going to happen overnight, but the consistency is just like going to the gym. You're sore for a little while, but then after a while it becomes a habit, it becomes trained in your brain, and all of a sudden it becomes something you do.
Yeah, so, and that's it. The consistency, I think, is how long do I have to do this until I can stop doing it? So we have to be kind enough to ourselves to find a way to do it, to be consistent.
And do things that we love to do. So when we say exercise, I can't stand running. I have bad knees through my cancer treatments, but what could I do? So I'm always trying to solve the problem. What could I do I love to do? Well, I rode bikes my whole life as a kid. I'd run, because we didn't have Ubers and scooters. I rode my bike everywhere and I got dirty. So I got on my bike and I started mountain biking and road riding, and it's really easy on the knees. So that's my way of doing it. And when I move, I'll do exercise in my garden and I'll do yard work, and that helps me be in nature, but I like it. So can we do more things we like? But the daily dozen is really simple. It's not hard things, and we can get twofers and threefers out of it because you can stack them on each other so you're doing one thing that has a few of them.
Yes, okay, so let's hit it. Tell us about the daily dozen. Let's hear about that.
All right, let's see if I can get most of these done. Okay. It's in my Wellness Made Simple program that people can get online. It's free, but like things like water. We don't drink enough water, but if we do that every day, half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So if you're 150 pounds, that's 75 ounces per day. Coffee and alcohol don't count, but there's water in fruit, there's water in vegetable, but monitor and track your water.
Okay.
So that's just one of them. Get your water done every day, right? Healthy bowel movements is in the daily dozen. If you're not pooping right.
Which is, give that definition.
I just say poop snakes.
Poop snakes?
Poop snakes.
At least once per day?
At least once per day. That's it.
Okay.
Like simple. Don't get on the score and the rubric and what does it look like. No, poop snakes.
Okay.
But if you're not detoxifying the stuff that are toxic, you're holding it in, you're reabsorbing it, and you're becoming more toxic.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So there's another one. Being in nature. Every day, just be in nature. You don't have to go to the mountains or the beach to be in nature. You can just be outside and be under a tree. So bringing that into play. Right? These are things, getting sunshine. Those are two things you could do at the same time. But if we're stuck inside all the day, we're not getting our vitamin D. How fun, how good does it look to work in sunshine? it just feels good, right?
Feels good, yeah.
So there's a physiological response that happens there. So eat more plants. It's in the Daily Dozen. Half your plate should be plants. Just plant-based, phytonutrient-dense foods.
Okay,
Simple.
phytonutrient dense means what?
All the good stuff in plants and vegetables and fruits.
So
right?
when
the
people
colors
are thinking
of the rainbow.
colors of the
I just say
rainbow.
eat Skittles or eat the rainbow, not Skittles.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's where you're getting all of that diversity of all of those chemicals that are all really good for you.
For my kids, I did the 5 colors on your plate growing up. You had to have, and if they didn't have 5 colors, and two beiges don't count as 2 different colors.
Whites doesn't count.
Whites don't count. So if they'd go get a strawberry from the refrigerator or whatever it might be, even just one, just to balance out the plate, and it's great.
It all adds up.
It does. So we've got water, bowel movements, being in nature,
Eat more plants.
Eat more plants.
You've got, we talked about it earlier, but meditation, even 5 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day, does work, right? So there's apps, there's so many things we can do with meditation. There's no wrong way to do it. Your mind is supposed to chatter.
Yes, it is.
Well, I don't want to get too deep in that, but I want to plant the seed for that because it is irrefutable science.
Yes.
We don't, instead of grabbing your TikTok and the scroll of death on your phone, why don't you close your eyes and listen to some music and just go zen out for a few minutes.
Yeah, and if you have trouble with that, breathing deeply,
count your breaths.
Count
just
your breaths.
go. I do this easy. Wellness Made Simple is simple, right? Every 3 hours, 3 minutes, deep breathing.
Okay, and what does deep breathing look like?
Breathe. I always say breathe like you're breathing through your hips.
Okay.
As deep as you can through your belly. That's going to activate the vagus nerve. It's going to activate your rest and digest system.
I'm doing it right now, okay.
5.5 seconds in,
Okay.
in through your nose, out through your mouth, through your nose.
Okay, 5.5
Deep
seconds
breathing.
in, how long out?
And if you want to reset your stress, there's another easy one.
Do it.
All right, you're breathing in for 5 minutes through your nose, always through your nose.
5 seconds. Great.
And then you're exhaling for 8.
Yeah.
So in for 4, out for 8. So when you breathe out twice as long as you're breathing in with conscious breaths, you're noticing your breath. You can even look at your heart and just feel your heart as you're breathing.
Resets
that
your
will reset your
parasympathetic.
parasympathetic system.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's great. So for 5 minutes, even if your mind is chattering, if you can count your breath, exhales that are longer than inhales.
You can reset your nervous system in 90 seconds with intention.
That's amazing.
But we don't do it, right? Because if I told you put a timer on your phone every 3 hours for 3 minutes, that's it.
Yeah.
During your work week, during your work day.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing, as long as the fire isn't on in your business or whatever you're doing, just take your 3 minutes then and just reset. I do this all the time before we start. Before we start all of our meetings in our work, we take 3 minutes. We do a centering. It's called a centering exercise. You're just centering yourself and getting that peace.
Wonderful.
People don't realize the power of breath.
Yeah, they
I can change your blood pressure by 10 points with just breath.
Yes, absolutely. So where else? What are we our last?
So we're really talking free or no low-cost things you can do. We talked about sunshine. We talked about healthy bowel movements. Let me think of the other ones that we've got in there. More plants, meditation. I'm trying to figure out all the ones that are in there now. But there are 12 simple things you can do. Oh, movement, joyful movement.
Yeah.
Right? We talk about exercise, but movement is the new smoking. And when I say that is, we're a sedentary lifestyle. We're at home, we're at the computer. So joyful movement, dance, just be happy. Don't move with your phone in your hand. Go for exercise. Go for joyful movement. Put on some nice music. Be in nature. Listen to the birds, and be joyful.
So you can be out in nature, joyful movement, getting your sunshine.
You can stack all of that.
You can stack all of it in the. So I'm trying to make it
playing with
easy
my kids
for people.
is joyful movement.
Yes, absolutely.
So instead of the thing you have to do after work, playing with your kids, it's actually regenerative and healthy for you.
Yeah.
And you have that mindset shift that I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
That's becoming selfless, not selfish.
And when you have that focus time with intention, playing with your kids, it's oxytocin releasing for men. So more women as well, but more so for playing with children, more so for men, which is really important.
So when my kid, well, I have to do this all the time. My kid's like, Daddy, can you go play in the trampoline with me? They're 8 and 10. They're beautiful girls. They're full of love. And I was like, I'm busy. I'm tired. I don't want to. And like, no, go. Just do it.
Yeah.
And it's regenerative every single time. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. So our lifestyle then, we're talking about Daily Dozen. We can find that on your website. We talked about diet, and that's also in your your program.
I've got a PDF printout of the Daily Dozen. You can just throw it on your computer screen or wherever and just remind you. I've timed it. You can do all of it in less than an hour. So it's 1/24 of your day.
That's it. And it doesn't have to be an hour all at once. It's an hour broken up throughout the day. So
We love information in little pieces,
Yes.
right? But if you do these consistency, it's exactly the principles around blue zones and how people live longer. So it's backed by science.
That's wonderful, Josh. Thank you again so much for being with us again today.
Oh, my pleasure. This is so much fun.
You'll join us next week.
Thank you.
Okay. Then please join us after these. Oh, I didn't ask how you could find you.
So rxtowellness.com. If you want to really look at my pharmacy, it's dilworthdrug.com. This is what we do in Charlotte, but rxtowellness.com. This is what I'm really looking at. I really want to make sure people understand, like, we can do this. Like my Wellness Made Simple, I do the little mini videos to show you it's not that hard to get the wellness in there. So rxtowellness.com, it's the easiest way to get started.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. And please join us after these messages for our next guest.